So, first, the Russians have done much worse than I think they expected to. They may still pull it out, but more forces have not come in, and clearly they can't supply all their troops. And trying to fight in cities, as you were talking about, is very difficult. The defenders know the city, the attacker doesn't. It can be very bloody. The second thing is the extraordinary power of the American-led sanctions. The action on the dollar and on other things not only has hit the Russians very hard, but has pulled together a coalition ranging from Britain to Japan, and they've all joined into this. So two things have happened. The expectation, it was understood that Russia was economically weak. The Russians, unless they change their activity, are showing themselves to be weak again. They can't overcome the forces that they're facing. And so that's one thing. The other thing that's happening is China moving away from Russia. Today, they were supposed to deliver some parts for a commercial airliners, and they canceled the delivery. That's very important because they had to show this, and they showed something else. So what's happening here is that the United States, surprisingly in all this, has emerged as a decisive country at the head of a very larger coalition that wasn't in place before. The Russians are fairly diplomatically isolated. They're fighting a battle that they're not winning. They haven't lost it yet. They can turn it around. But it is not what you'd expect the Russians to be able to do. So everybody's reevaluating Russia, and I think they're reevaluating the position of the United States as well, which is, it's not critical to either of the parties. But I also noticed today that Turkey canceled a contract with Russia to build a joint Turkish-Russian aircraft, and that's not going to happen. So that was a move by the Turks that appeared to be, and I'm not fully familiar with it, appeared to be pretty much pulling back from the Russians. In the end, Turkey is an onlooker. It's not expected to participate. But at the same time, Turkey has options. And I think that option will lead it closer away from Russia and more toward the United States. Looking at the Russian performance in Ukraine, I don't think anybody would be emboldened for military action. The Russians certainly expected to do better. The world expected to do better. They're bogged down. So I don't think it emboldens them. What it does do is really call into question this alliance they had, that they were never that warm on, of what exactly is the value of being aligned with Russia. The second thing is, remember that China is an exporting country. The United States is its largest customer. While this has options around the world to get other customers, the Americans are critical to them. And in this conflict, it really doesn't want to be on the wrong side. And it's conceiving that the Russian side is the wrong side. And so the Chinese are, kind of repositioning themselves in a way. I expect within the next couple of weeks, a very different tone emerging from China. That's the decision they're making right now. They didn't expect to be in this position. They didn't expect the Ukrainian resistance to be this strong. They didn't expect their attacks to be this ineffective. So certainly they don't want to have these sanctions on them. At the same time, if they retreat from where they are right now, it'll be very politically unsatisfactory, not only internationally, but inside of Russia, because Putin has had the position in Russia of extremely capable man. This wasn't an extremely capable attack. So I would say that right now is the time, and for the past few days, where the Russians are considering their next move. And the fact that they haven't made that next move indicates that they either have fewer choices than we might imagine, or they simply can't decide what they're going to do next. Doubling down on the same thing they've been doing for the past 2 weeks is not a very good idea, and I don't know what plan B is, and I don't think they had a plan B. In a normal country, you would expect after a show like this, tremendous political opposition to it. It's very hard to understand what happens inside the Russian elite. When I look at this attack, it was not professionally planned. This was not a plan of attack that came from the general staff that might be in place. There may be some sort of tension between the staff, who as professionals don't want to see this happen, might want to withdraw, Putin, who doesn't want to. But the thing we really have to look for here is, after this I won't call disaster because it's not that yet. After this, what comes after Putin? So if Putin is seen as ineffective, what comes after him? We don't know that. We don't know the elite and the way it's functioning. But I'm looking at the fact that the government seems to be paralyzed, that they're in this situation, they're not effectively gaining on it, they're taking casualties, and they're not changing their position. So the way it looks to me is that somehow or another they paralyze themselves. I'm not sure how.
Думаю, що не один був.